She found it when I was in the shower. I heard the silence first. No music. No podcast playing on her phone or hum of the blow dryer. Just stillness. I knew that sound. It was the sound of someone holding a loaded question in their hand, deciding how hard they want to pull the trigger. When I walked into the room, she was sitting on the edge of the bed with something in her lap, folded once, creased hard. My handwriting. She didn't look up, didn't blink, just said, "You dropped this." Her voice wasn't shaking. That would have been easier. She unfolded the note, eyes scanning it again like she hadn't already memorized every word. I think about her more than I should. I see her in places I'm not supposed to. I know I shouldn't want this, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't. She stood up, tossed the note at my feet like it was something disgusting. Who is she? Say it. Right now? Or I swear I'm walking. Still, I said nothing. Not yet. Because silence is power when you know the truth is about to hit harder than any denial ever could. "You think I'm stupid?" she said. "You think I wouldn't recognize your handwriting?" This wasn't some old note. The ink's still wet. She took a step forward. "Was it your coworker? That barista you always flirt with? Or is it someone worse? Someone closer?" Closer. I looked her dead in the eye. And that's when I gave her what she thought she wanted. "You want the truth?" I reached down, picked up the note, folded it slowly, slid it into my pocket. That note wasn't written this week. It wasn't written last month. It's been in my coat for 7 months. She froze. I watched the fury drain from her eyes, replaced by something worse. Confusion. "What are you talking about?" I stepped closer, 1 inch from her face. "You want to know who it was about?" I smiled. Just a little. "It was about your sister." She staggered back like I'd slapped her. "What the hell did you just say?" She looked me up and down like I'd shape-shifted into a stranger. Then she grabbed the edge of the dresser for balance, or maybe to launch it at me. "You're sick. You asked for the truth. You wrote a love note about my sister?" "Not a love note. Don't play semantics. What the hell do you call that?" "I call it honesty. The kind you never earned." That's when she lunged. Not physically, emotionally. Voice cracking, eyes wide, hands flailing like she was trying to pull the air apart. "So what was the plan, huh? Sneak around behind my back? Flirt with her at family dinners? Trade glances across the living room like I'm not even there?" Nothing ever happened. Then why the note? Now it was my turn to step forward. "Because 7 months ago, you weren't mine anymore. You just hadn't told me." The room fell quiet, but the heat didn't drop. I could see her building the next storm behind her eyes. She wasn't ready for that sentence, because deep down, she remembered. She remembered the distance she started creating around that time. The girls' nights that lasted until sunrise. The silence in bed. The phone always flipped over. The short temper when I asked too many questions. "So what? You were planning to leave me for her," she said. "No. I was planning to leave you, period. But I wrote it instead. To remind myself why." "Why her?" "Because she saw through you before I did." That broke her composure. She wasn't mad anymore. She was hurt. Not by betrayal, by exposure. Because this wasn't about some steamy secret or twisted sibling love triangle. It was about someone knowing the version of herself she tried so hard to hide. Flashback. 7 months ago. Holiday party. Small backyard fire. Her family. Laughter and too much wine. She was inside with her mom, talking business. Her sister and I ended up outside. Just us, sitting by the fire pit. She told me, "You deserve someone who doesn't wear a mask." I laughed, thought she was joking. She wasn't. She's not the girl you think she is. She knows how to perform. You don't see it yet, but you will. Then she touched my arm, not flirtatious. Just knowing. "Just promise me something." "What?" "Don't wait too long to leave." That night, I wrote the note. Didn't send it. Didn't give it to anyone. Just folded it, sealed it, and tucked it in a coat pocket, where it stayed. Until now. Back in the room, she'd gone pale. Voice low. Fists clenched. "She lied to you. She never had to. You did all the damage yourself." She shook her head, biting back whatever insult was bubbling. "You really want to do this?" "I already did. Months ago. You just caught up late." That's when she turned, grabbed her phone, and stormed down the hall. Dialed someone. Her mom? No. Her sister. "Did you talk to him? Did you say something?" Silence on the other end. I couldn't hear the words. Just her breathing, fast, panicked. Then she shouted, "You always ruin everything." I leaned in the doorway. Quiet. Patient. She spun around and pointed at me with the phone still in her hand. You think this makes you the good guy? You think this justifies anything? I don't need justification. You're just trying to punish me. No. I looked her dead in the eyes. This is me finally telling the truth. Something you never had the guts to do. She didn't reply. Just stared at me. Like she'd realized something much worse than betrayal. That I was no longer trying to save her. The next day, her sister texted me. No emoji. No soft tone. Just. I didn't say anything. She's spiraling. You okay? I didn't answer right away. I let it sit. Because the truth was, I wasn't okay. I was calm. And that's a different kind of dangerous. I'd seen it before, the spiral. With her, it always started with blame. Then victimhood. Then crocodile tears to mop up the mess she caused. But this time, she was out of script. Because she couldn't play the other woman card when the note was about her own blood. Later that evening, her sister called. I let it ring twice before I picked up. She thinks I planted the note. Did you? No. But I almost wish I had. I could hear the fatigue in her voice, the years of being cast as the jealous sister, the black sheep, the one always pushed aside whenever her older sister needed the spotlight. She sighed. She came at me screaming today. Called me a liar. A manipulator. Accused me of seducing you. And I told her to go to hell. It all clicked then. She wasn't angry that I'd written the note. She was angry that someone had seen her clearly. Someone she couldn't control. And worse, someone I listened to. 2 years ago. The first time I met the family. Big dinner. Formal. Everyone dressed too nice for lasagna and salad. Her sister wasn't in the family photo. She was serving drinks. Her father barely acknowledged her. Her mother rolled her eyes every time she spoke. But when I introduced myself, she looked me in the eye and shook my hand like no one else in the room did. You seem real, she said. Good luck with this crew. From that moment, I started watching her. Not romantically, but truthfully. She didn't perform. Didn't edit herself. Didn't inflate her resume to sound important. She was quiet, but sharp. Observant. And while her sister chased compliments and curated her power couple image online, her sister just existed. Honestly. Which is why I believed her. 7 months ago, when she said, she's not loyal, I believed it. When she added, she's been seeing someone else, at least emotionally. I didn't need proof, because I already felt it. The cold bed, the detached touch, the lies buried inside compliments. The note was my way out, not because I loved her sister, but because I wanted to remember that someone saw me when the woman I loved stopped looking. Now, that someone was getting crucified for it. Because when manipulators run out of control, they reach for destruction. And the only person she could still hurt was her sister. She's going to try to tear you down, I told her. Let her, she said. I've been burned by her before. This time, I came with armor. Still, I warned her. Don't respond. Don't post. Let her bury herself. That's the plan. That's just the first part. Because if she wanted war, she should have read the rest of the note. The next morning, she showed up at my door. No warning. No call. Just a knock, sharp, fast, like a demand, not a request. I opened it slowly. She didn't wait to be invited in. Pushed past me and dropped a wrinkled printout on my coffee table. It was the note. Scanned. Printed. Highlighted. I sent this to Mom and Dad, she said. I raised an eyebrow. You emailed a note I wrote in private to your parents? They deserve to know what kind of twisted dam you've been playing with. Funny. You didn't care what they thought when you were skipping dinners to sneak around with other guys. Her mouth dropped open. Just for a second. Then she recovered, barely. You're making stuff up now? Am I? She backed away from the table like it might explode. This is disgusting. You and her. You wrote that for her? No, I said. I wrote it because of her. Big difference. That stopped her. Long enough for me to grab my phone and open the folder I'd been updating for months. Screenshots. Texts. Photos with cropped-out faces. Voice memos. Call logs. Timestamps. All of it. You think I've been passive this whole time? You think I didn't notice the 3 a.m. messages you delete before I woke up? She said nothing. I didn't write that note to flirt with your sister. I wrote it to remind myself that I wasn't crazy. That someone else saw the mask drop too. You let our relationship rot from the inside out. I just stopped pretending I couldn't smell it. She crossed her arms, but her fingers trembled. She wasn't used to being on the defensive. She was used to framing the narrative, being the victim, curating control. Now she was just exposed. You want to know why your sister said something? I asked. Because she watched you turn every guy into a stepping stone. And she actually liked me. She pitied you. No. She respected me. Something you never figured out how to do. Then I dropped the final card on the table. I never sent the note. What? I never placed it in my jacket pocket. I wrote it, folded it, filed it away in a drawer. She blinked hard. Then how? That's what I've been wondering. Which meant one thing. Someone else found it and put it there. Maybe her sister. Maybe fate. But either way, someone wanted the match lit. And I wasn't mad about it. You wanted a war? I asked. No, I wanted the truth. Then we're finally in the same place. She left without slamming the door. No threats. No tears. Just silence. But I knew her. Silence wasn't surrender. It was recalibration. She wasn't backing down. She was going to come back swinging. And this time, she'd aim for blood. Good. Because so was I. She didn't wait long. That same night, I got a message from her sister. She showed up, screaming, accused me of planting the note. Said I've been after you for years. What did you say? That you deserved better. That she was the one who pushed you away. Then I hung up. But it didn't stop there. 2 days later, she was at her sister's office. Didn't call. Didn't ask. Just walked in and made a scene in front of 2 coworkers. You're pathetic. You always ruin things you can't have. You're just mad because I never needed to lie to keep someone. Security had to escort her out. HR flagged the incident. I know because her sister sent me the report. She's been building her own folder too. Now she wasn't just unraveling in private. She was crumbling in public, in front of her friends, family, colleagues. And the worst part for her? She couldn't find the leak. She started texting me again. Rapid fire. We need to talk. If this is about the note, we're past that. I want to know how long you've been playing me. I ignored every message. Then she got desperate. A voice memo. You can't just go silent. That's not fair. If you were this unhappy, why didn't you leave? Funny. I've been asking myself the same thing for a year. I knew her next move before she made it. She called her best friend, the one who always took her side, even when she was wrong. Told her I was manipulating her sister. Said I'd engineered the note drop to start drama. That I was turning the family against her. But this time, her friend didn't bite. Because her friend knew. She'd seen her cheat before. Heard the fake excuses. Watched the spiral from a safe distance. And this time, she stayed there. 3 days later, she showed up again. At my apartment. Worse than the first time. Hair undone. Voice sharp. Eyes wide and darting. She looked around like she was searching for someone. She's not here. Who? Don't play dumb. You think I've been hiding your sister in my kitchen? She stepped closer, close enough I could see the crack in her armor. You've been playing us both. I figured it out. I tilted my head. You figured out how to lose a man without anyone helping you. That did it. She slapped me. Not hard. Not even surprising. But enough to make her feel like she had one last piece of power. I didn't flinch. I just said, you think this is about your sister? She blinked. It's not. No. It's about you finally realizing you're not the smartest person in the room. She didn't say anything after that. She just stared, then turned and walked away. I closed the door and locked it. Not for safety, for peace. Because now, she didn't trust her own reality anymore. And I wasn't going to hand her the map out. 7 months ago, I found her journal. Not intentionally. It was under a stack of books on her desk, half hidden behind a drawer she always kept jammed with receipts and expired coupons. She was out shopping. I was looking for packing tape. Instead, I found the truth. The journal wasn't filled with dreams. It was inventory. A tally of moves. Names. Dates. Places. Moods. Every page was neat. Each man had his own shorthand. C equals convenience. F equals fun. B equals backup. And one page had my name. T is stable. Too safe. Too careful. Might get boring soon. But useful. May keep him if Connor doesn't pan out. I remember sitting on the floor, back against the wall, staring at that sentence like it was written in another language. Useful. Like a rental car. A temporary fix. A man she could park between flings until someone shinier picked her up. I didn't confront her. Didn't burn it. Didn't scream. Didn't even cry. I photocopied the page, slid the journal back exactly where I found it. That night, I laid in bed next to her and watched her sleep. I tried to imagine what kind of person pretends that well, laughs with you, touches your face, builds future plans, while calculating exit strategies between kisses. That was the night I wrote the note. Not to her. To myself. A reminder. Because when you're in the middle of someone's performance, you start to believe the script. I needed something real. Something I could carry that would remind me I wasn't crazy. I think about her more than I should. I see her in places I'm not supposed to. I know I shouldn't want this. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't. That wasn't about her sister's body. It was about her honesty. Her spine. Her willingness to call out what no one else wanted to admit. I folded the note and hid it in my coat pocket. Then I built the file. Hard drive. Encrypted. Off the cloud. Screenshots of text she deleted. DMs to men with first names only. Emails written, unsent, saved in drafts. Even receipts from nights she said she was out with the girls, but somehow always paid for drinks at bars she never told me she went to. I didn't make the file to ruin her. I made it because I knew one day she'd come for me. And I wasn't going to defend myself. I was going to expose the script. And when that note resurfaced, I knew. Someone else had finally flipped to the right page. The night it broke, it wasn't loud. There were no fists pounding on doors. No viral video. No drama post. It started with an email. Her sister sent it to 3 people, their parents, their aunt, and her copied, not blind. Subject line. Before she rewrites the story. Attached, a PDF. 23 pages. Labeled. Screenshots. Dates. Notes. Quotes from the journal she thought no one would find. She sent it to me, too. Not to ask for permission. Just so I'd know. This was no longer a secret. 10 minutes after it landed, my phone rang. Blocked number. I let it go. Then it rang again, this time from her mother. I answered. I'm sorry to bother you, she said quietly. But I just need to know, is it true? I didn't ask what part she meant. I just said. All of it. She let out a sigh, not of anger, but exhaustion. Like someone who'd suspected the rot for years but hadn't had the nerve to open the door. Thank you for not stooping to her level. I didn't do this to humiliate her. Then why? So she couldn't gaslight the rest of you into thinking I was the one who broke us. Later that night, I checked her social media. Gone. Every profile deactivated. Every post archived. Every curated caption about healthy boundaries and growing together erased. She was wiping the slate. But it was too late. I got a call from one of her old friends 2 days later. So, it's all real? Every word. And the sister? She didn't lie. She just got tired of pretending. Damn. The fallout was immediate. Her best friend unfollowed her. Her cousin posted a vague but brutal status. When people show you who they are, believe it the first time. Her job? On shaky ground. Turns out, dragging your family through mud while cheating on your partner doesn't play well when you work in nonprofit PR. She posted one last message on a burner account with no followers. I never got to tell my side. I didn't reply, because her side wasn't a side. It was a mirror she refused to look in. Meanwhile, her sister? Thrive mode. Backed by truth. Protected by receipts. And for the first time in years, no longer the one standing in the shadow of a curated lie. The best part? I didn't say a word. I didn't write a blog. Didn't leak the files. Didn't drag her name through the street. I just let the light in. And watched the truth crawl over everything she'd built like wildfire through dry brush. She didn't speak to her sister for 10 days. Not a call. Not a message. Nothing. She tried pretending the story was over. That the silence was power. That if she ignored it long enough, people would forget. But the world doesn't forget a mask once it slips. I got a voicemail from her on day 11. You had no right. That was personal. You didn't have to turn everyone against me. I didn't reply. Because I hadn't turned to anyone. All I'd done was step out of the way. She was the one who lit the match. Her sister just pulled back the curtain. Day 12, she posted again. New account. Cleaned username. Caption. Growth is painful, but I'm still standing. The comments? Silent. A few likes from strangers. No one from her circle touched it. No one came to defend her. Day 13, her mother called me again. She's trying to tell people you manipulated her. Did she tell them about the journal? She says it was taken out of context. What's the context for ranking boyfriends like disposable batteries? Silence. Then a soft, "Thank you for not burying her publicly." She buried herself. She tried messaging her sister next. "You were supposed to have my back. You were supposed to have integrity. I loved you." No reply. Just a block. Then came the pivot. That accountability post. A long caption on a private story, visible only to a select few. "I hurt people. I got lost. I let my fear take over. I'm working on healing." It was too late. By then, people had seen the pattern. They remembered the other stories. The red flags. The inconsistencies that used to feel small, now impossible to ignore. One of her exes reached out to me. Said, "She did the same thing to me. I just didn't have the receipts." We talked for 20 minutes. Not out of spite. Out of recognition. Two men who'd survived the same storm from opposite ends of the same lie. Later that week, she sent a letter. A real one. Envelope. Handwritten. No return address. I opened it. Read the first line. "I never meant for it to go this far." I stopped there. Tore the page in half. Not in anger. In completion. Because this far was the destination she chose, when she decided truth was optional and pain was currency. I wasn't mad anymore. I was past it. She wasn't the fire. She was the ash. 2 weeks of silence. No messages. No calls. No drama. Just nothing. It was almost peaceful. Until her sister texted. "Are you okay?" It wasn't a casual check-in. It was loaded. She was asking, "What happens now?" I sat with that question longer than I expected. Because the truth was, I didn't know. We hadn't crossed any lines, not physically. But the connection was real. Too real to ignore. Too dangerous to rush. We had both been burned by the same flame. The difference? She warned me. Her sister set the fire. We met up at a park. Neutral ground. She wore black like always jacket, boots, that quiet edge that said she never needed the spotlight to own a room. We sat on opposite ends of a bench. She spoke first. "I didn't do it to blow up your relationship. I swear. I know. I wasn't trying to get you. I know that too." Silence. But not the awkward kind. The kind you let breathe because it's earned. "So what now?" she asked. I took a breath. Not dramatic. Just honest. "Now. I build again. With me." That landed heavier than she meant it to. I looked at her. The girl who had been labeled second place her entire life. The girl who had seen truth and spoke it anyway, knowing what it would cost her. And maybe that was the real question. Could I trust again? Could I risk stepping back into a fire, even with someone who tried to stop it? "I don't know," I said. "But you're the only person I'd consider trying with." She nodded. Didn't smile. Didn't cry. Just said, "I can work with that." We didn't kiss. Didn't make promises. We just sat there while the sky darkened. Two people who had walked through the same wreckage and hadn't let it define them. Later that night, I archived the last photo of her sister. Didn't delete it. Just put it where I'd never need to see it again. The past wasn't something I had to burn. It was something I had to step over. And now, for the first time in months, there was no one left to lie to me. Or about me. People kept asking what happened. Friends. Old coworkers. Even her friends. The ones who never really liked how she spoke to you. They all wanted the summary. What really went down? Why did she nuke everything? Are you seeing her sister now? I didn't answer. Because the truth? She doesn't get an ending. Only I do. It wasn't about getting revenge. It wasn't about stealing her sister. It wasn't about some twisted payback plot. It was about standing at the end of the story she tried to write for me. And flipping the pen. She wanted the last word. She doesn't get it. Because the last word belongs to the one who tells the truth. The one who kept the receipts. Who didn't lie. Who didn't fake a future while auditioning for a better one in secret. She thought she could curate real life. Thought she could frame me as cold, detached, controlling, all while she texted exes on the side and wrote journal entries like a bored screenwriter testing storylines. But real life doesn't need edits. It just needs witnesses. And this time, she had too many. She'll recover, sure. She'll rebrand, relocate, say things like that was a dark time, and I wasn't my best self. She'll leave out the part where she got caught, the part where her sister stood up and torched the mask she spent years perfecting, the part where every exit door slammed shut, and she couldn't find anyone left to blame. I didn't respond to her last message. Didn't need to. Because she already knows. The only thing worse than being exposed is being irrelevant. As for me, I moved forward. Not with noise. Not with a grand new love story. Just with peace. Real peace. The kind you earn when you finally stop trying to fix someone who is busy rehearsing their apology before they ever hurt you. Let them ask what happened. Let her tell whatever version she wants. I'm not correcting the record, because the people who matter already know. I didn't cheat. I didn't break. I didn't lie. I just waited. And when she slipped, I let her fall without catching her.